Good morning. I want to jump right into Romans 6:13, continuing our thought about not letting sin reign in our mortal bodies. There's a second imperative in verse 13. I'm going to read verse 12 again to set this up. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body to make you obey its passions. Here's verse 13. Do not present your members, that's your body, to sin, parts of your body, to sin, as instruments for unrighteousness, but present yourselves to God as those who have been brought from death to life, and your members to God as instruments for righteousness. We'll look at the last part of verse 13 tomorrow. For now, I want to focus on the first part of verse 13. Do not, in this imperative, do not present your members to sin as instruments for unrighteousness. There's often a way that Christians tend to talk about sin. We talk about it sort of like we are struggling. We talk about it as a battle. We talk about it as we are in the war or in the fight. We say things like we made mistakes. What's happening in some of that language is we're subtly softening the language of sin as the Bible sees it. The Bible doesn't see sin as a mistake. A mistake is, whoops, I spilled the milk. A mistake is not, whoops, I slept with my girlfriend or my boyfriend, or whoops, I lusted after somebody, or whoops, I was greedy, or whoops, I used my tongue to cut open somebody and hurt them. Those aren't mistakes. Mistakes are accidental happenings. Sin is not an accidental happening. So we have to lose that language. We use the language of struggle because I think it makes us feel like we are doing better sometimes maybe than we are. Surely it is a struggle, there's no question, and it is important that you struggle, so it's not completely false to say that you might be struggling. In fact, it's probably a good thing to say that you're struggling. But usually we use that language after we've fallen in some way or after we've sinned. And I think we use it to sort of pacify ourselves, to say, well, you know, it sort of came upon us and we succumbed to it. I would like to challenge you with beginning to speak honestly about sin. And to speak honestly about sin is to use the language of verse 13. To realize that when you sin, you have presented your member to sin as an instrument for unrighteousness. That is, that you have willfully presented yourself. You've willfully walked in to sin and you have committed it. Nobody made you. You did not slip into it like you might fall in a mud puddle. It wasn't a mistake or a hoop-de-doo. Instead, you did it. And it's the only way that we can really deal with sin is by calling it what it is, which is an act of our will in rebellion against God. Now, you may not have thought of the implications of what you are doing, but that's your fault and my fault. Our job is to think about the implications of our decisions and to realize that we might place ourselves in vulnerability and therefore not to place ourselves there, because by placing ourselves there, we're willfully setting ourselves up for failure. So be honest about your sin, and that means thinking through all the more what it means to guard your heart and not let your members be offered or presented for unrighteousness. May the Lord keep you holy. Take care.